Wowza, 2020 was a doozy. So much went on that sometimes it's hard to believe it was only a year. But we survived, and here we are in 2021. One strange positive in 2020 was the real estate market. The real estate market was strong. It surprised some experts. In the beginning of the pandemic, some experts were saying that they expected home price appreciation levels to be really low, and one expert even suggested that it would be a negative number. Well, we saw that as the year went on that wasn't going to be the case, and well, looking back, we know that didn't happen. So let's take a look back and go over the Canyon County December 2020 numbers, as well as review how the year actually went. Hi, I'm Charlotte with Birch & Cedar Realty Group. The Boise Regional Realtors released their stats, so let's take a few minutes to go over them. January 2020 sales started strong at 19.2% higher than January 2019. As the uncertainty of the pandemic spread, it impacted Canyon County differently than in Ada County. While Ada County slowed down and slightly lowered sales in February and March, Canyon County didn't slow down. It had 14% higher sales in February 2020 than in February 2019, and March 2020 sales were up 36.6% over March 2019. However, the shutdowns and restrictions in April and May were factors that led to a slowdown in the spring market. We saw sales slow to 6.6% more sales in April 2020 than the previous April, and drop by 21.1% in May of 2020, selling a lot less homes in May 2020 than we did in May of 2019. So then here comes June with a positive increase in sales, and then in July the sales climbed to 22.3% more sales in July 2020 than what we sold in July 2019. And we were off to the races. Sales remained elevated through December, never going below an increase of 14.6% year over year, meaning that every month was an increase in sales in the double digits compared to that same month in 2019, showing that the market in Canyon County was ridiculously strong. So at the end of the year, how did Canyon County do in 2020? Well, we sold 5,910 new construction and existing homes, which was 14.7% higher than in 2019. What were some major factors that impacted the sales in 2020? Well, the first was the low mortgage rate. According to Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed mortgage was at 3.11% on average in 2020. That's the lowest ever based on data going back to 1971. These low rates allowed buyers to still compete and purchase, since it actually increased their purchasing power. The second factor was the appreciation in home prices. Incredibly high demand and insufficient supply caused home prices to rise. We saw insufficient supply at all price points, and especially for existing homes. Another factor here in the rising home prices is the impact new construction has on pricing. In Canyon County, new home sales make up 41.4% of all sales in 2020, which is up from 27.9% in 2019. New construction usually costs more than an existing home due to the rising costs for land, labor, and materials. So this increases the median home sales price. Canyon County's new construction median home sales price in 2020 was $324,990 and $278,800 for existing homes, making the combined median home sales price for the market overall $295,990. The days on market was an average of 34 days in 2020, and in 2019 it was just 36 days. So not much difference there. On the last day of December 2020, our inventory was 193 existing and new construction homes available for sale. This was 77.1% lower than what was available on the last day of December 2019. Keep in mind that this number is a snapshot of the inventory number on a particular day, which is why our homes sold is so much higher than inventory numbers. So what are some of the reasons that inventory is so low? First, remember that historically low mortgage rate that I mentioned? Well, there was a huge surge in refinancing that has continued throughout the year. There has also been some safety concerns or general uncertainty on how to sell and buy at the same time. Now, I just want to add a little note here that if you've had thoughts of selling, but either of these reasons are actually holding you back from moving forward, then we really need to have a conversation. There are ways that we can handle both of these and get you where you want to be. And doing it now versus when the normal spring rush to the market happens gives you a better chance of getting it sold for the most money possible and faster. Keep in mind that a spring rush means more competition. More competition follows the law of supply and demand, meaning that as supply goes up, the demand goes down, which is going to affect pricing. More competition means less offers. Just think about it and let's chat if you have questions. Another thing in regards to inventory, we are seeing that new construction cannot keep up with demand. The demand is absorbing all the supply that becomes available. And this has put tremendous demand on builders, and some builders are having to turn buyers away as their current staff and contractors can't take on more projects. So what does all this mean for 2021? Well, economists continue to say that the Boise metro area is a market that should continue to see additional growth. The National Association of Realtors lists Boise as one of the top 10 markets that not only showed resilience during the pandemic, but is expected to perform well in a post-COVID-19 environment. This means it will continue to see high demand, and unless we see some new inventory among both the new and existing home markets, we will likely continue to see crazy multiple offer scenarios and see median home sales prices continue to increase at much higher rates than at a national level. Hopefully we will start to see some homeowners list to take advantage of this high demand. If you're an investor that has single-family homes in your portfolio, you should talk to a realtor and a tax professional to understand the possibilities of selling your single-family home rental and diversifying your portfolio into sectors such as commercial or multifamily homes. There could be some really interesting possibilities there. So if this is you, please reach out and let's have a chat. 2020 was an interesting year, and it sounds like the real estate market in 2021 is likely to continue to be on fire. I hope this was helpful. As always, like, subscribe, and click that little bell. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.